Today, I'm diving into the tricky world of emotional blackmail, and I'm challenging myself to spot the signs in real-life situations. Emotional blackmail is a widespread phenomenon that can have a profound impact on individuals, making it difficult for them to make decisions, set boundaries, and maintain healthy relationships. It's astonishing how often we come across people using emotional manipulation to get what they want, and it's time we acknowledge it. Emotional blackmail often manifests as manipulation tactics, such as guilt tripping, playing the victim, or making threats. These tactics can make the person being targeted feel anxious, responsible, or even trapped. If you've ever felt like you're walking on eggshells around someone, constantly trying to avoid conflict or appease them, you might be a victim of emotional blackmail. Manipulators use these tactics to control and influence others, often unconsciously, and it can be incredibly damaging to mental health and relationships. For instance, a partner might say, "If you really loved me, you'd do this for me." This statement, at first glance, might seem innocent, but it's actually a form of emotional blackmail, as it's guilt-tripping the other person into doing something they might not want to do. Another example is when someone makes a veiled threat, like, "If you don't lend me money, I'll be really upset with you." These tactics can be incredibly draining and can lead to feelings of resentment, anxiety, and even depression. Moreover, emotional blackmail can also manifest in more subtle ways, such as passive-aggressive behavior, self-pity, or constant criticism. If you find yourself constantly trying to placate someone or avoid conflict, you might be in an emotionally blackmailing situation. The key is to recognize these patterns and identify the emotional manipulation behind them. In real-life scenarios, emotional blackmail can occur in romantic relationships, friendships, family dynamics, and even workplaces. You might be dealing with a boss who makes unreasonable demands under the guise of teamwork, or a family member who constantly makes you feel guilty for not meeting their expectations. Emotional blackmail can be incredibly pervasive, and recognizing its signs is essential to maintaining healthy boundaries and relationships. Let's take an example of a romantic partner who constantly criticizes their significant other, saying they're not good enough or that they don't care enough. This behavior is not only emotionally draining, but also damaging to the other person's self-esteem. The psychological mechanism behind this is that the manipulator is trying to control the other person's emotions and actions by making them feel inadequate or guilty. It's essential to recognize this pattern and address it before it escalates into something more toxic. Another example is a friend who constantly makes you feel obligated to do them favors, even when you're not willing or able. They might say, "You're a really good friend, so you must do this for me." This statement is a classic example of emotional blackmail, as it's manipulating the other person's sense of obligation and responsibility. In reality, a healthy friendship is about mutual respect and reciprocity, not emotional manipulation. The key to recognizing emotional blackmail is to tune into your emotions and pay attention to how you feel around certain people. Do you feel anxious, guilty, or trapped? Do you constantly walk on eggshells around someone? If so, it's time to reevaluate the relationship and set some boundaries. Emotional blackmail is often about control, not love or care. So, the next time someone tries to manipulate you emotionally, remember that their behavior is not about you. It's about their own need for control. To address emotional blackmail, it's essential to develop self-awareness, set clear boundaries, and prioritize your own emotional well-being. You must learn to identify the signs of emotional manipulation and develop strategies to counter them. This might involve having open and honest conversations, setting clear expectations, and being firm but assertive in your communication. In conclusion, emotional blackmail is a pervasive phenomenon that can have a profound impact on our mental health and relationships. By recognizing its signs and addressing it head-on, we can maintain healthy boundaries and cultivate more meaningful connections with others. Remember, awareness is the first step to change, so take the time to reflect on your own experiences and relationships. Thanks for watching, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Have you ever experienced emotional blackmail, or do you have any strategies for dealing with it? Be sure to check out my other videos on emotional well-being, and don't forget to subscribe for more content on self-awareness and personal growth.